During my 4 years as a Davis United World College scholar at COA, I focused on redefining international development using sustainable business. I had immense support and a wonderful mentor who guided me throughout and let me be outside the classroom while also being in the classroom. So in the spring of 2015, I took the hatchery. It's the venture incubator at COA, and I had the permission to go back to Nepal and try to start a business. My primary goal was to construct a school and also a solar charging station for electric rickshaws. But things didn't go well. We had a shake, earthquake happened, and I had to change my trajectory. So basically, I moved on from constructing schools or a solar charging station to basically helping people. And I was permitted to do that. I guess that's the beauty of being at COA. And at that moment in time, I focused on that, but through and during my time at COA and the hatchery, I established Diallo Foundation. It's a 501c3 based out of the US. And during my hatchery, I established another organization. It's a social venture called United World Schools Nepal, in Nepal. And also, through my time at COA with mentorship, I started a tea company called Madhi Himali Tea. Well, today's presentation is not going to be anything about this. Today's presentation will be an account of my journey post-earthquake in Nepal. It's a journey I will take you guys on. So basically, the earthquake happened in April 2015. After a month of relief and reconstruction, I decided I would take a break and go back home to see how it was, if everybody was safe at home or not. On my way back and at home, I met Menuka, a 7-year-old girl from a village named Gurase in the eastern part of Nepal. And I had an encounter with her and her 4 sisters, which was eye-opening. I thought it was the 21st century, and I came to realize that they never went to school. School was a distant place to them. Their day started as working in the house, taking care of the animals. You know, they seem to be small, but they carry quite a lot of load. And all these five sisters never went to school. Not that they didn't want to go to school, but their parents said it wasn't important to go to school. And also, another thing is the nearest school was around 2 hours walk up the hill. So, small kids, why would they walk to school? It would be better staying at home. This wasn't the story of only 5 children. Back in 2014, it was the story of 600,000 out-of-school children in Nepal. And they were mostly girls. After the earthquake, things changed, and I met another 2 goons who actually, very mischievous kid, and they did go to school back in 2014, up until the earthquake. And after 2015, they dropped out of school because their school literally didn't exist. And the nearest school would be, around 3 to 4 hours walk. They weren't the only ones. The number of out-of-school children increased, and it went up to 1.6 million in 2015. And somewhere, yes, people who went to school after the earthquake, some ended up taking classes in open skies, and some ended up being Dawa and Chiring, who went back home because it was safer to be back home with their parents than to be in school that would probably collapse. My senior project focused on changing the fate of these children. I converted this land into somewhat that looked like this after a month, and thanks to my friend Sam, who designed this school for me. He designed the outlay. He outlaid the design, and basically we constructed the school. Today it looks somewhat like this. And Surya and Bire that I talked to you, the 2 boys, they go to the school along with 162 others. And it gives me immense pleasure to say that their futures are changed. And today they do not stay at home, they go to school, they get to learn. And maybe you're asking, what about Menuka and the 5 girls that inspired me? they go to school too. They go to school, absolutely. She goes to the school that is 15 minutes walk. It's a second school, and it looks somewhat like this. It's already finished. And she's not the only one. There are 156 others that go with her. Today she wants to become a pilot, and there are many others who dream today, actually. And it's very, very pleasing to see them have hopes. It gives me satisfaction. I had initially thought about going home and building a solar charging station, and I eventually thought, giving hopes to engineers that will build solar charging stations would be a better way. So where do I go from here? We have $2.97 million funding from the United World Schools in UK, and a 5-year agreement recently signed on the 22nd of May with the government of Nepal. That basically means I'm committed for 5 years with my team. I couldn't have done it without them. And by 2020, we'll have 35 schools built. That would be around 5,000 children into school, either for the first time or into a real school for the first time. 35 libraries and early childhood school centers constructed, and that would mean 70 qualified teachers along with the government teachers that will be provided to us. Here's a small glimpse of the school. It looks somewhat like this. There are children howling and running around every day. My journey here wouldn't have been as I have said, as I've portrayed. It has been a lot of challenges for sure, but with continued mentorship and support from COA plus my mentor Jeffrey Lander, I was particularly able to successfully construct 3 schools and inaugurate them. The 34th Prime Minister of Nepal inaugurated this school that you just saw. Obviously, their journey down the road doesn't seem as easy. It's a lot of funding that has to be raised. But I guess when somebody puts hand into something, it's important to get it up to a certain point and then see how it is. So challenges, yes. Team formation was important. Constructing the school, getting the team together was the most crucial thing that had to happen. The working with the government, I think was the toughest thing. I didn't look as old to them, so they were not willing to negotiate for a whole year. And eventually they said, well, you're too persistent enough, so let's just negotiate. Well, I have to probably thank a lot of people. And I have forgotten a few people. I would like to mention the computer services especially. They've been very essential and important part of my time here. And thank you, everybody. Thank you for coming all the way.